What does it mean to be a follower of Christ? What does it mean that we are being a people created for himself? How are our actions, how are our outward expressions shown to the world around us so that they can see what is the inward change with who we are? First thing I would say is this, is that holy, holistic living is our spiritual worship. Verse 1, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. It's much more than just a check off the box or even that I participated in something. The call here is for a holy, holistic living, which is our spiritual worship. Worship doesn't happen on Sundays alone. It occurs 7 days a week. We are given opportunities for worship in every single setting, in every single day, in every experience, good or bad. We are given an opportunity to worship God. Why are we called to a living sacrifice? He says, therefore, it's the mercies of God. It's because we recognize grace. When we have difficulty within relationships, whether it's within this church or within our homes or within our workplaces or whatever it might be, how do we respond in that? Is there a living sacrifice in understanding God's grace given to me in my life that now I respond differently? The second thing is this, is that we're equipped with gifts and created for community. And the idea is that God has equipped us so that we would be able to do things for his purpose, not do things to feel good about ourselves, not just do things because we want to do things, but we're doing things in the sense of honoring God with our lives and the gifts that he's given us. What we need is to think rightly and soberly in judgment of ourselves and understanding that what we need is not just good motivations from self-esteem and better image of ourselves. We need to be reminded of the gospel. We don't just need to feel good about ourselves. We need to be reminded of who we are. I once was a wretched sinner who could not do anything on my own behalf to save myself from anything, but by the grace of God. But by the grace of God, not just self-image. I have a true understanding of who I am, soberly understanding who I am. I'm a sinner saved by grace. As God has called us and equipped us with these spiritual gifts, and then he's called us to be a part of a community. The reality is, anytime that we have relationships, it's usually something that takes effort. And God has called us to be a part of this community. He's saying that we are a body of individuals, but we are a body, we are one. What are your spiritual giftings? And how are you using those spiritual giftings for God's glory? God has gifted us, and look around the room right now. God has intentionally made this group of people here at this moment with purpose. And we all don't have the same gifts. We all don't have the same abilities. We all don't have the same passions, necessarily focused on things. But God has brought us together as one body with multiple gifts for his purposes, and he's creating a people for himself right now, right here. The last part is this. Verses 9 through 11, his love and our response. His love and our response. You know, when it comes down to it, it comes down to this. Verses 9 through 11, as you see this, is that we see what the marks of a Christian looks like. You may have heard a saying that says, I can't hear what you're saying because your actions speak so loudly. How we respond in situations, good or challenging, shows a lot about where we are on the inside. We are different people because of his grace, unmerited. We are called to act differently with one another because of God's grace exhibited in our lives through inward transformation, which is now outwardly shown.